Yeah, really, a really bright attitude from the guys. The mindset going into the game was to try and be aggressive, to try and take the game to a fantastic Seattle team. I think you saw that again in the lineup of the group, the shape of the group. A very attacking looking group with a back four again. There was some intent in that. And the guys adapted incredibly well to a group, Seattle group, that changed the way that they went about their business. I know they played that way last year, but we've not seen it many times from them this year. We didn't prepare to play against a back five, and I just thought the whole attitude, cohesive look about the group really made a statement in terms of what we were after and what we wanted to achieve in the game from minute one.
Yeah, Coach, Seattle are obviously one of the best teams in MLS, CCL champions, all that. You've beat them twice now. What does it say about your team, not just to beat them twice, but to bounce back with a huge win after some pretty tough weeks?
Yeah, I think it tells you the sort of fortitude that this group has. The internal fibre that it takes. Just 3 days removed, 4 days removed from a difficult away result, turn themselves around, dust themselves off, and not only to put in a very positive and aggressive display, but I thought there were many periods in the game that we managed really well. You can start to see some of the growth, if you like, of the group, some of the experience starting to show in the group. And it's not always easy, of course, against a very good team, but the way the guys dealt with particular moments in the game, and we haven't seen too many clean sheets this year, especially here. Joe save, the way that the guys dug in and managed certain moments, even defensively, looked very much like the group that we've seen in the last 2 years. And, of course, delighted about the result, delighted that we've been able to take 6 points off of one of, if not the best team in MLS. And, it'll give everyone a real boost.
So since Anibal Godoy has been out, the group has looked sort of out of sorts in the defensive zone. That was not the case today. What changed? What made the difference?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, of course, when you concede goals, I think it's easy to say we look out of sorts. If I focus in on tonight's game and some of the qualities that we saw tonight, there was a real spirit and togetherness before the guys went out. There'd been, as you might imagine, some really good conversations about what we want to achieve, where we want to go, how we need to attack games, how we need to impose ourselves on games. You saw that against Portland here 2 weeks ago. 2 goals to the good, and unfortunately we're unable to hold on to that lead. We've seen some really good displays, and today I think we've been able to nail all the particular qualities that it takes to beat a very, very good team.
Gary, after what's been happening lately here and even away, I think there was no question that tonight was an emotionally charged game. But how much of the result, you see in percentages, of what the victory means? I mean, let's go get the victory, guys. We need it. Or and also your tactical plan. How much of both things were accomplished today, in your opinion?
Well, you saw us play that back four shape against Portland. There were some real positives out of that. I think you can see that we all want to be more front foot, aggressive. I've used those adjectives already in here. you can tell maybe the way that the conversation and the preparations went towards this game. I think that back four shape was always something that we wanted to evolve to, and I would certainly not, put the back five and maybe a 3-4-3, into the cupboard and never use again. But I think here we're moving in a more positive and bright and upbeat direction. I think we certainly saw that again tonight. There was a fantastic spell after the first 10 minutes where I thought for 20-25 minutes they couldn't really get themselves into any sort of groove. We broke up their play well, we repossessed, we managed the game, we built pressure, we created opportunities, and you're never going to get loads of clear-cut chances against top sides. So you've really got to take advantage of those one or two that you do make. If you look at just an example of maybe the way that the guys have conducted themselves tonight, look no further than the way that the goal was created. Randall's recovery, he pinches it off of someone's toe, with a 30-40 yard recovery. Immediately has the wherewithal to release CJ, and that connection yet again between CJ and Hany was the difference in the game. We've seen it time and time again. I'm only delighted that we've seen it against this top class Seattle group tonight.
Coach, Hany had the goal, but Randall looked fantastic all night. Talk to me about his progression these last couple of weeks, especially post-injury, and working so well with fantastic footwork, a lot of finesse tonight, working well with that fantastic pass to CJ, and just looking fantastic all night.
Yeah. And I think we've seen a lot of those qualities since he's come back from his ankle problem. I think we all wanted to try and work Randall to a point where he's fully match fit. You've seen the progression of his minutes. He's played pretty much the 90 minutes tonight and has been very, very effective. And look, he's no different to probably any other attacking player with the opportunity that he has in front of him, which is to get himself back into his national team. And I think he's got the bit between his teeth. I think he's inspired to make that happen. And, we should be the beneficiaries of that because of the way that he's playing. But he is, really in a very good place, and he's wanting to impress.
Tim, go ahead.
Jerry, you just talked a little bit about how important Randall's return to health is. How important is it to get all three of those front three guys going and having some of the chemistry that they had at the end of last year to not only kind of break out of the slump of the past few games, but make a push towards the playoffs?
Well, we've seen those guys, in the last 4 or 5 games, they've played an awful lot of football together, and this game's all about fine lines. If you look back, with the Portland game finishing up a very important week for us. I know they're all important, but we ended up getting knocked out of the cup with the last kick of the game. We ended up, looking like 3 points were in the bag against Portland, and obviously conceding those goals. But I think what I'm trying to say, in between all of that, there's been some excellent play. And those 3 guys are instrumental in that, certainly in an attacking sense. There's a great understanding, a great cohesion between them. But I think the thing to not overlook too much as well is when things are not going for them, and there are periods in the game, and there were today, they're such good team players. They work hard. They try and cover the cracks that are starting maybe to appear. Their work rate's phenomenal. As you might imagine, the data that we get back on those 3 guys are just off the charts. And I think to that degree, we're not just talking about creators. We're talking about incredibly good teammates. And, when when you need everyone to pull in the same direction on a very important night, they've all done that.
Yeah, Gary, obviously Hany got the goal again. Matt told me in the elevator on the way down that he's the first player to score in 4 straight league games for the club. He's made the All-Star game after being snubbed last year. Last year he was in the MVP race and didn't make the final cut. Would you agree that he's been better this year? And what would you make of his performance overall this year?
Well, I know I've answered this before, but if you want me to answer it again, Ben, I thought last year there was no other person that should have got that accolade. And of course, I think I've said this as well, I'll certainly see it through rose-coloured glasses because I see him every day and the hard work he puts in, the free kick that the goalkeeper did tremendously well with. You know, you can see Hany out on the training field practicing them every day after training. It's not just something that he hopes going to happen. This guy's, you know, an incredibly good professional. I've already spoken about his team attributes. But if we're just talking about the creative element of his game, I think he's hitting the sort of standards and heights that he did last year. I mean, I thought he was exceptional last year. If you're talking about a player that means more than he does to our team, I can't think of one. I really can't think of one. And that's surely what the trophy is all about. The most valuable player to any given team, right? Not the player that scores the most goals, although those players are valuable. But what is his all-round game about? Creation, goal scored, and a fantastic team player as well. You know, I think we'd be a very different team if Hany said, listen, I'll tell you what, if you can get the ball to me in some creative areas, I can do some damage. But he doesn't. He works very, very hard for the group as well. So, you know, of course, I'm one of his biggest fans, and I'm delighted for him to be in the All-Star game. I'm hoping Adrian won't play him more than about 10 minutes because we've got him that weekend as well. So, you know, as long as the two guys that are going enjoy it and, you know, they get a good result, the US group, then we'll all be happy.
Over the last few games, a handful of errant passes have sort of come back to bite you guys. You know, you look at the Portland game, but today that was all but gone. It was much more. The passes looked much more intentional, much sharper. Is that something you guys have talked about over the last few weeks? And what did you think about your group's intentionality today?
Yeah, I think it takes a lot more than, you know, just saying we intend not to pass the ball to the opposing team 12 yards from goal. I think confidence is a key factor. The initial building blocks of getting to that point, I think we've seen today. And from Joe through to Hany and CJ up top, I think everyone understood and appreciated what it was going to take to win tonight. There are moments where you can be really constructive and you've got to manage the ball against a very good side who will punish you otherwise. And there are times where you just cannot make mistakes. Deciphering that, seeing those moments and executing, you know, in the right fashion are always the keys to any game. Today, we did it exceptionally well. The attitude was wonderful. And we also made some very, very good choices and imposed ourselves on a very, very good side.
Yeah, I mean, we are happy to bounce back. Was a difficult result for us last week. Yeah, we knew that we have to get points. We have to win here at home, and we knew about that. They're a good side. They won the Champions League. They're one of the best teams in the league. So it was a very, very important victory for us.
Yeah, like Hany said, you know, we lose too many points here at home. So today the game was important for us to win, and we did it. Now we need to just looking forward for Sunday.
Hany, not that you need any more motivation to play soccer, for sure, but do you think Seattle might wish that you're going to have being called to the MLS game before this game?
I mean, it's a great achievement. It's a great honor for me to go to the All-Star game. That's for sure. But yeah, for me, I know I can only go to the All-Star game if we are working well and we are successful as a team, because then I can shine. And yeah, I'm thankful for all my teammates, for all the staff members, and yeah, that's a great achievement for me and for the club.
Yeah, Randall, could you just walk us through the play before, leading up to the goal when you were able to pick out CJ? What did you see on that?
No, I run, a lot to the goal, and then I need to go back. I just took the ball, and I don't want to drive with the ball, I just saw CJ, so I just kick the ball to him, and yeah, he did amazing job to pass to Hany, and he was alone.
Guys, the draw of Portland, the rough loss to Charlotte, what were some of the conversations you guys had, both as a team and with the coaching staff, going to these, two next games against a solid Seattle team, and, obviously LA in a couple of days?
I mean, for us, it was very important to stick to our core, and that's to be compact, to work out of a compact block, and then try from there to press them and move forward. And we saw with the goal was a fantastic ball-winning situation from Randall, and that's what we all the whole last year what we did. Like going into transition and kill the guys with their strength, because they love to have the ball, but we know that our strength is when they are unorganized, when they lose the ball. That's they want to keep the ball, but the reaction after they lose the ball, that's where we need to have like a smart play, and that's what we did on the goal. And I can remember last year when we played against New York FC or all these good clubs, good teams, which wants to have the ball. And yeah, that's what we have to improve, because we can really hurt ball possession teams.
Randall, since coming back from your injury, you guys have had some great chemistry up at the top. How do you guys build that relationship? This is a question for both of you, but how do you guys build that relationship, and what's it been like progressing since you've come back?
Yeah, I'm very happy, to be back for the injury, and I don't feel anything more. So, I'm the player that I like to work for the team, And that position, we wanted to get it the next level to Hany, So I think all the guys, we know it, and we try to give him the best options, and try to build a good team. And I think CJ, Hany, and me, we are doing a good job, And yeah, it's part of the team. I think the guys behind us believe in us when we attack. So yeah, it's good for the team.
Tim.
Guys, for both of you, obviously the feelings after some of the games in recent weeks have not been positive. How much of a relief is it going to be to have that feeling of victory again, especially here at home?
Yeah, it's very important. I mean, we have a new stadium, we have a fantastic stadium, and it's not always easy to build your culture in your stadium, because you have already expectations. We earned that expectations, which is a good thing, but also on the other hand, it's we have to play really, really good, because we saw it with Portland or Kansas or other teams. They come here not to play like offensive football. They come here to basically wait for our mistakes. And in the first 2 years, I felt like it was more clubs coming to our place to get the 3 points. Now they're coming to our place, and they are okay. I think we are very happy with the point, and I saw that in the face of Poland players. They were so happy after it felt for us like a loss, even though it wasn't. But they had just the expectation to come here to get the point, and that's a good result for them.
So the question is how, since returning from injury, Randall has been incredibly instrumental to the team. How much is the motivation of returning, but also the motivation of playing for the national team in the future?
Sí, yo creo que después de la lesión fue bueno para mí para acomodar un poquito las cosas en mi mente y saber que pues bueno, siento que soy parte fundamental del equipo y cuando estaba afuera por ahí lo sentí un poquito, entonces estaba ansioso de regresar. Creo que lo de la selección siempre es un deseo para cualquier jugador. Yo ya estuve ahí, se me alegra mucho que la selección esté yendo bien, que clasificaran al Mundial. Creo que el deseo de todo jugador es ir al Mundial, claro. Pero ahorita lo que más me enfoco es seguir bien con el equipo, tratar de hacer las cosas bien, seguir por ese buen camino y que sea lo que Dios quiera. Al final nadie tiene el poder, o yo no puedo decir, uy, quiero ir a la selección, no me llaman. No, creo que al final el trabajo, la constancia, hacen que las cosas lleguen por sí solas. Creo que lo de la selección siempre va a ser pues un sueño para todo jugador, pero lo principal es estar bien en el equipo, jugar bien y que el equipo esté en una buena posición.
Yeah, Hany, you talked about teams in the past coming here and wanting to get a win, and now you feel like they're coming here and getting a draw. And you talked about Portland, how they were able to come back and come back from behind and get a draw. How much of a point of emphasis was it against Seattle to be able to hold on to the lead and to keep a clean sheet, and just how important is being able to keep clean sheets at home going to be for you guys going forward?
Yeah, it was always our strength to have a clean sheet. I think last year we had more than 10 clean sheets, which is incredible. So yeah, we have to focus on that. The core of the heart of our team was always to be very compact, to very hard play against, hard to break down. So yeah, we have to stick with that. But also I think for us personal, I was talking about it last week too. Like, we have to make the next steps with the ball too. If we want to be a really, really good team, and I said that when I signed a new deal, like, we're here to win silverware. You know, we have good players. I think the biggest loss we had in my 3 years here was against Charlotte now. So, you know, we are very capable to compete with all the teams in the league. So we have to make the next steps. And like, when you see the best teams in the world in the league, they all have quality with the ball and have quality to, even if you are leading 1-0 or 2-0, to control the game with the ball, because that frustrates the opponent more and more. And I really deeply believe, and I think the team will agree with me, when we can improve that small things, you know, to control the opponent over 2-3 minutes with the ball, then we will definitely make the right steps in the right direction.